Welcome to the Ignite Christian Business Podcast. Today's episode is a session release from the Ignite Christian Business Conference, Ignite 22. Let's get started with guest speaker, Rich Bontrager.
So, guys, real quick, one of the guys, a great friend of mine that really bought into my vision, and I went to my wife first. I went to Burton Gar, and Burton said, "Hey, you better do it, man." And I shared it with Rich as well. And Rich said, "Hey, Craig, whatever it takes, I'm with you." And he's got a quick little word for you, and then he's going to lead us in a break. Guys, give it up for Trigger.
How many of you have been watching the Ignite podcast videos we've been posting? Has anyone watching those? We're going to keep doing those, by the way, year-round. Those are going to keep on going. One of the things that Craig and I talked about when we first got together, he said, I had this crazy idea, but I want to put tools in people's hands as believers so businesses can thrive. We're not here for a pep rally. We're giving you tools. And what I just heard from Patriot Mobile was they have a tool. And they have a tool that's making a biblical influence in our communities by helping mothers, helping military, helping college students get paid by working for them and helping their education. These are tools that Craig and I said, we want to bring tools, not just a great conference. So that's a great example of part of our heart is. Part of our heart is when he and I talked, as soon as last year's was done, we started to meet and talk and pray. We talked this year in the off season about what's our theme. We wanted a theme, and right around the holiday season, he and I talked, and I said, Craig, I just love the book of Nehemiah. I really feel passionate about the message of rebuilding our broken cities, the walls, the communities, and we're lost and we're hurting all across this wonderful country right now. And his immediate response is, Rich, two other people have just recently brought up the book of Nehemiah. You think God might be telling us something? And since that time, he had several other comments after that about Nehemiah. I bring that up because Nehemiah was a man. If you read chapter 1, Jerusalem's in ruin. He's a foreigner in a foreign land working for another king, and he's not even part of that nation, but he's working for him. He's serving him. And then he hears the message. He asked the question because some people came back. Some brothers came back from Jerusalem and said, how's our people doing that didn't go into captivity? And the comment was, things are not well in Jerusalem. And they described the broken walls, the city. This was God's holy city, you guys. Think about this. Jerusalem, God's holy city, is a mess for years and years and years, and no one's put it back together. And he weeps, and he prays, and he weeps, and he prays, and he says, God, forgive us for forgetting your decrees and your commands, for falling away, and they're in captivity. And God put the burning on Nehemiah to go do something, rebuild the walls. Because there's no safety, there's no food, there's no fun place for the kids to play in the street because of walls, and they get raided and they get cannibalized and beat up and taken hostage again. There's no safety, there's no security. Does that sound like anything we know today, you guys? How many of our communities sound like Jerusalem, broken and fallen right now? How many gun shootings do we really need to have in our communities? How many violent acts we need to have before we stand up and say we need to rebuild our cities? And Craig's, my passion was, let's be Nehemiah. Let's literally talk and pray about how we can help each of our businesses be an influence, to be a light, to be a shelter, to be a hope, to be an inspiration, to help other people do this. That's why we did this conference. That's what partly Ignite will always be about, is rebuilding, re-empowering, and helping business leaders stand for Christ. Like Craig said, we leave them at the door. Whoever told us to leave God at the door? Whoever told us to leave Christ outside? So our country needs, and I'm stressing that, we need to stand up as believers and rebuild our cities. We need to be the light on the hill. We need to say, when they come after us, and they will, as a church planter, we asked this question 20 years ago. I was sitting with a bunch of church planners, and the question was, if they took away our 501c3, how many of you in this room would go forward? Half the room said, I can't do it without the 501c3. Half of my fellow pastors, church planners, said they could not go forward. Think about that. What church needs a 501c3? We just need Christ. We just need each other, and we need community. So I'm going to tell you about the idea of the Ignite community is now being launched, and you are all invited to be a part of the Ignite community because you're here now. You're no longer alone. You are now part of a community, and we're going to be launching our first monthly gathering in August. We're going to have a Zoom event, and the first part of this is going to be, we want to hear from you. Craig and I have spent a lot of time listening. We want to have you join us on a Zoom call, Zoom event. And we want to hear what's your concerns, what's your prayers, what's your needs. What would you like to see us do with this growing movement? Last year we had under 100 people. Look at this room now. In 1 year, what God has done. We're not about the numbers, but we are about helping people and serving people. Every month we're going to have another Zoom event. And we're going to have some of the speakers that you're hearing here on stage come and join us as well. And other speakers will join us, and other speakers will join us. So use that QR code, join the community, register for the event. We're going to talk more about it over the next day here. But we also are going to give you a break now. And as Craig said, we have amazing sponsors, these partners that are with us. They go from this bathroom over here all the way around the side to the other bathroom over here. Stretch your legs, get up. We're going to take about a 15-minute break. We will flash the lights. We will make an announcement, and we will have you all back here in 15 minutes. And as a community, go love on each other, make a new friend, shake a hand, have some fun, and God bless you.
We want you to be ignited. We'd love for you to join us on the next Ignite community call. These happen live on Zoom on the second Tuesday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We host a special guest who shares their wisdom and encounters with God over the time that they have followed God in their business. Registration is entirely free, but it is required due to limited spaces. You can register and learn more at ignite-cb.com.